Hey everybody, welcome back to the All UV Cast channel. And today I got Dan and Antonio joining me. Guys, how you doing?
Oh, good.
Morning. Morning. Good.
Right
Good.
on, right on. Yeah, bright and early here, 5 a.m. And I'm ready to go. I'm pumped on these Azzurri match days, man. And we got the last one of the group stage against Wales and Aaron Ramsey's Wales. And we're going to chat a little bit Juve too, and Aaron Ramsey, who seems to be on the outs. Reported today that he's definitely leaving. The entourage and Juve, they're going to work out his exit. My wish, my only wish, Juve cannot be taking in any of his salary wherever he goes.
Mhm.
I hope there's no partial commitment from Juve that they're going to pick up some of it or whatnot. They just got to be free and clean of this guy. What do you guys think so far? Ramsey and the Euros and whatnot had a good match last time out. What do you guys think it's so far? For me, it's just he's got to go regardless. And we'll get to Rabiot as well. We'll talk a little bit of Rabiot, but your guys' thoughts on Aaron Ramsey and the Euros so far? Antonio, why kicks off?
Well, just based on what I've seen so far, obviously we've got a private chat. He's the most frustrating player I've ever laid eyes on because he can't, he can't do it. I mean, he can be a top performer. He's proved he can do it. It's just obviously his fitness has always been an issue. From what I've seen at the Euros, that's the Aaron Ramsey I tend to remember at Arsenal, as I say. But his races ran at Juventus. I'll be glad to see the back of him, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's weird, man. He is frustrating.
Yeah.
That's the Ramsey, that last match he had for Wales is that's the Ramsey we were all hoping to get.
Yeah.
And I think even in his best performances with Juve, it was still far, far away from that Ramsey, that last match that he had. It's still never been to that level. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement that he, wage wise and the amount of performances he's put in, it's time for him to go. He'll put in maybe one good performance a year, but then he'll miss, he'll play another 2 and miss another 10. It is frustrating, but you need to move on, and we need to secure some good, healthy midfielders that are actually going to help us. So.
Yeah, I agree. And thankfully, Luca's probably still in the fetal position in his bed right now as we roast Ramsey a little bit. But David Faro's joining us. Ciao, David. Thanks for joining us. Be a part of this live. And guys, another midfielder on a free sitting with Juve had his go yesterday in a tough little task for France there. But Rabiot with a rather... poor showing, I guess. Rabiot, if offers came in, do you move him from Juve?
I think if there's the right offer, you move him.
Yeah.
I think all of France, the whole team struggled yesterday against Hungary. Hungary played very well defensively, but he definitely did not have one of his best games, and we've seen that time and time again at Juve. If no offer comes in, I'm okay with him staying. But then again, if something comes in where it's makes sense to move and you can buy someone else, I would definitely consider that for sure.
Yeah, Antonio, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with Dan. In relation to the game yesterday, unfortunately, I had family commitments, so I've never seen the France game, so I can't comment on his performance yesterday. But yeah, as I say, I'm in agreement with Dan. If the right offer comes in, you must consider it, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so as well. And we've got the main guy. I hope this thing gets done in my lifetime, but Locatelli. Jesus, guys. Just seal the damn deal already, hey? But so now, I guess the last offer was Dragusin and 30 million euros. Fair offer, you think?
Yeah,
I think so. Seems a fair amount. No?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, the big names we wanted to keep out of there in terms of youngsters, Rovella and Fagioli aren't involved. Dragusin, we saw a bit of him last season, whatnot, but I don't think this is the funny thing when we got into this, and I've been putting this out to many Juventini and asking them, in the Locatelli deal, how they guys feel about these youngsters that are moving the other way. And I find it surprising that so many were just like, no, you cannot lose Fagioli. You cannot use Rovella, whatnot, to bring in Locatelli. But for me, it's like you're getting a guy that's already there.
Yeah.
So if you have to sacrifice, a promising young talent, whatnot, that still may not get there or work out. For me, it's a no-brainer. Like you got to do, and it's almost like we're talking as if Locatelli's 28, 29 years old,
Yeah.
Like Locatelli's still a young guy himself, and he's got a lot of years ahead of him.
Yeah.
I think you pull that trigger, but nice to hear now that Rovella and Fagioli shouldn't be part of that. So how do you guys think about Rovella and Fagioli, and possibly Rovella staying with Juventus and not going out on loan next season? What do you guys think about that?
You go, Don.
Yeah, I like them both. I have supported Rovella. I watched him a lot more once it was confirmed in January, and I like what I saw. I would like him to stay, but my concern is, and we discussed this earlier, like how many midfielders are we going to keep? You're going to run 6, 7, 8 midfielders. There's not going to be enough time for him and Fagioli to get some time and to learn and to play, obviously. But with that said, wouldn't make sense to sell him. If you want to send him out on loan for another year, if he's not going to play, then that makes sense. But if you plan on keeping him with the team and giving him some minutes, I'm good with that. I would be totally okay with that. Mm-hmm. Same with Fagioli as well. Yeah,
Antonio.
Yeah. I think the right offer to finally get our man Locatelli is going to be obviously I think it was 30 million. It was reported, and Dragusin. I think that'll be the right formula to finally unlock this deal. And the good thing with that is, well, if Dragusin does happen to be included in the deal, it means that Demiral should be able to stay, as I say, because I don't really want to see us lose Demiral. I think he's solid enough. He's got a bright future, and I think it'll be hard to replace, as I say. But if we can find a space to accommodate Rovella, I would definitely keep him, because, as Dan said, I watched him quite a lot last year after the deal was announced, and even the game, the Coppa Italia, he was outstanding. I mean, he was the best player on the pitch, so why not keep him in the side if we can do that? In terms of Fagioli, I would do what Rovella's doing just now: go out, learn his trade, and then obviously see where we are a year down the line.
Yeah, I agree. And Anthony joined us and saying good morning and happy Father's Day to all of you who knocked up her, she, or whatever. And yeah, Father's Day. Holy smokes. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Carlos Valdez joined us. Ciao, comrades. And Panawat, which team is going to win tonight? Come on. The Azzurri are going to win. We're going to get this done and finish top of the group. But guys, rotation expected. Expected. We got some projected lineups here. Donnarumma, of course. Toloi, Bonucci, Bastoni, Emerson across the back. Barella, Jorginho, Verratti in the middle, with Chiesa, Belotti, and Bernardeschi up top. Right out of the gate, who wants to kick us off on what they think on these starting lineups? And we'll get everybody that's joining us live here to get their thoughts on that starting lineup. Dan, why don't you go with that lineup?
I like it. I'm okay. I'm guessing Florenzi must be really injured for him not even to play today. So that's probably why Toloi's going, which is whatever. He's not my first choice, but oh well. I'm a little worried, to be honest, to see Verratti getting the start. I don't know how, if he's 100% fit. I would have preferred, him coming on maybe with, 25, 30 minutes left just to, give a run out. But I guess he's okay if he's starting. And I'd like to see Pessina gets, a decent chunk as well to see what he can do at some point. But the front three, happy for Chiesa and Bernardeschi and Belotti. Hopefully they can work some magic and score some goals, make us look good. So we'll see.
Yeah. Antonio, your thoughts?
I'm perfectly happy with it. As I said in a previous podcast, the team seem to have an identity. They've got obviously a system that works. It doesn't matter who plays. There's a unity within the side. Mm-hmm. So whoever plays will do the job just as good as the guy they're replacing. So I've got no issues at all. I would like to see minutes for Castrovilli and Piscina. I'm interested to see what they can do in this system at this level. As I say, but all in, I say I'm more than happy. That team should be enough to win the group and get a point at the very least, as I say. But I think the 3 points are they're more or less in the bag.
Yeah. So in terms of what he's done as far as changes go with Mancini, the Verratti one, I think honestly, if you think about this, he's obviously going to be okay to get the run out there. But I think it's more in terms, this is the last chance you get to see that original lineup, that original midfield again before the knockouts. And Locatelli's been doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So you got a bit of a tough call there. Going into your first knockout, do you keep with the momentum and what's been working, or do you just slot Verratti back in? Because obviously they had their chemistry as well that's been running throughout the majority of the streak. Locatelli's really just come in the past couple months, right? So this is it's a bit of a tough call there on the Verratti front.
My only concern is when you play Verratti and Jorginho together, Locatelli can cover the field a little better than Verratti can, especially in the defensive phases. So if we get caught on the counter, I would just feel a little more stable with Locatelli there instead of Verratti, but maybe that's just me. But again, Verratti brings a completely different element to the game. So it's a tough call.
Sorry, I think just off the fact that we're going into the game, obviously there's a calm sense around the camp. Obviously there's other guys are joking. You see a lot of private videos. Insigne and Jorginho seem to be the ones that are always playing the practical jokes. There's a calmness within the side, so there's not a tension getting into this game. So it's a platform for these players to kind of show what they can do. I'm all for change because the style of football we play, it's high intensity. There's loads of energy involved, as I say. So it's good to keep things. I would have freshened things up in the last game, but I'm not the manager, as I say. So it's good that he's doing it just now. Keep the legs fresh again. Obviously, they're playing every 3 days. Obviously, Italy aren't travelling just now. Wales are the team that's travelled most in the whole competition, so that's a bonus. So it's good to recover energy and give these guys a chance to prove themselves, and then obviously worry about the last 16 when we get there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So Carlos coming in here with, we cannot make wholesale changes. Momentum is more important. Says, I don't think that whoever plays will be as good as who they replace. Chemistry squad-wide is rarely like this. Anthony countering that with, in 2006, Lippi used 22 of the 23 players he took, and rotation can work, right? So, yeah it's just kind of really comes down to personal opinion, preference, and whatnot. But honestly, I look at this lineup and it makes sense in terms of how Mancini's going about the changes. When you think about the players that he's switching out, Toloi might be the one that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. But if you look even at the way he was using Florenzi, almost holding him back with two midfielders, almost acting as that other extra line of defense. Spinazzola being the one to bomb up and down. Emerson Palmieri will be that guy. Bernardeschi in spot of Insignia will turn into the guy that has that central Rome freedom, like Insignia had, to create that link up. And Chiesa is going to be doing his thing like Berardi was doing. It kind of all makes sense. Verratti and Locatelli, that's just a pleasure to be able to change between those two, right? So I still love our midfield with those combinations. So I think it's fine, honestly. And I think you got to get these guys in because, again, you don't know what's going to happen. Injury might happen or whatnot, and you get some guys some minutes in the group stage. That's good. That's good. And honestly, Wales, how concerned are we with Wales? To be honest, how do you guys feel about this game?
Go ahead, Anton.
Being over in the UK, obviously, and Wales is one of the home nations. I think with Scotland, they've got the biggest heart. They've got so much desire.
Real quick, Scotland, England,
do you know the funny thing is, Scotland, obviously being over here, I want to see them do well, but obviously the Azzurri's the team for me. But when it comes to the game against England, I mean, I think even if you're not a Scottish fan, you find yourself naturally cheering Scotland on. So it's been an interesting week to listen to the pundits. So, but yeah, it's been good. In terms of Wales, they've got.
I just love seeing that for England, though. Every time it's the same with the Premier League, man, and just the hype and the hype and the hype, and it just gets shoved down your throat. And finally, you're just like, "Fuck off, you guys!" And it was good to see. It's good to see.
The media, but I say Wales, they've got massive desire, as I say, but I strongly believe quality always prevails. The Azzurri have got massive quality, but they put lots of energy and they play at such a high intensity. I can't see Wales living with it. I'd be glad to see them go through, because obviously historically the Scottish have always got on really well with the Welsh. They're very similar in obviously in traditions, so it'd be good to see them go forward. And they've got two world-class players. I mean, Ramsey, we can say what we want about the guy, but he will perform at international level. And Gareth Bale, when he's on form, he's still one of the best in the world. So they've got quality on their side, but I don't think it'll be enough to get 3 points.
Yeah. And Dan, your thoughts on this game? How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, they're definitely beatable at the back end. I think, they're obviously stronger going forward with the likes of Ramsey and Bale, as you guys mentioned. I think we get one in there, and hopefully it's Belotti, just to give him some confidence for the knockouts in case Immobile is not going. I think that should be enough. And when I look at this squad, it's almost just as good as the previous starting 11 we had in the first two games. So there's quality everywhere, and I think it'll be tough for Wales to try to break down this team. I look at their midfield, it's nothing. It's not comparable to the R3 to what we're running. So I'm fairly confident. I could see a positive result today for sure.
Yeah. Now, how do you guys feel when it's funny how the pundits have treated the Azzurri throughout this tournament and the shit we've had to listen to, and whatnot. But already starting to get in players' ears, like Belotti's doing his interview, and all of a sudden it's like, was it along the lines of how embarrassing would it be to finish second? And that's what they were asking, basically. If they drop this match or whatnot. So I want to know how you guys feel about that statement, number one. If they drop this or whatever, somehow end up in the second spot or whatnot. Is that shameful? Is that embarrassing? Whatnot? Your guys' thoughts on that? Because Belotti just brushed it off right away and said, "Hey, we're through to the next round. That's the first. That's the first target, right?" And he threw a little respect at Wales too, which these reporters and stuff are also doing, is the massive disrespect to Wales, just basically counting them out already, even though they've got a win and a draw. But your guys' thoughts on those comments and when you hear that?
You know what? I hope they keep disrespecting us. I hope that gives the boys a little motivation, fires them up a bit. Whatever. As we said, the English, EPL, the pundits, whatever, they can talk whatever they want. At the end of the day, Italy has more points than England from what I've seen. They've played better than England. They've played more as a team. They've, pressed better. They've worked better. So say whatever you want, let the talking happen on the pitch. And leave it at that.
Yeah. Antonio.
Yeah, you guys.
Embarrassing to finish second now with the
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think it's embarrassing, but obviously you want to carry on and set the bar and obviously keep the momentum going. So I don't think this team is the usual Azzurri team with a point. You would see that game a point enough to win the group. This team's different. They're wired up differently. They'll go for the 3 points because that's the style of play. And remember, there's a lot of guys playing tonight that will want to prove to their coach that they can obviously be a first choice as well. So as Dan said, there's so much quality on the pitch, and I think they'll play with that desire and that intensity to beat Wales, as I say. So they'll finish first place. Well, absolutely. Yeah. I can see another win tonight.
I just think they can't downplay the fact that in these major tournaments, anybody can steal a win, and look at these results yesterday. Look at France not being able to get the job done against Hungary. They left some opportunities out there for sure, whatnot, but you just can't really discredit any of the opponents. Getting a win is massive in these, regardless of who the opponent is. And I'm tired of even hearing that as far as the Azzurri go. And, you can only play who's in front of you. and get the job done. But
Yeah.
in terms of Wales, we'll see what happens. Luke waking up in time to catch some of the live and throwing $5 down on a Ramsey goal. Too bad.
Too much.
What did we say at the start? Thankfully, Luke didn't wake up in time to get the Ramsey bashing there, whatnot. But no, we know Luca's Azzurri today for sure. Let's see some of these comments coming in. So Freddie Church will announce himself to the world today. There you go. David backing that up, saying that he's already stated they're out to win and he's ready for the fight. It's gonna be a good one, I think. Carlos saying Bale can hurt any team. Ramsey will want to hurt us and get at Juve. Still, it's Wales. And I think so too. I see the Azzurri dominating possession again, controlling this one. I think it's in our hands, honestly, and I'd be very, very surprised if the Azzurri don't get this one done. But anything can happen. Bale and Ramsey, they scary enough to think that maybe a draw or something, or are we wins straight across the board here?
You need to respect these players, but fear them not, as I say, because you shouldn't. As a professional footballer at that level, with such an important national side historically like Italy, you shouldn't fear any opponent, but you need to have respect for them. Gareth Bale, when Gareth Bale plays the national side, he's not the Gareth Bale that you see with Real Madrid or Spurs. As I say, he's up for it. But I think an interesting factor as well, Wales are the team in the tournament that's travelled the most. The heat will be a massive factor in Rome as well. So they'll not have a lot of the ball. So Bale and Ramsey need to stay disciplined and chase the ball. So I don't think that this is a game that they can really do damage on Italy, because they're going to be chasing the ball a hell of a lot.
Yeah. And Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a good point, Anto. It'll be hard for them to kind of impose themselves on the game if they're always chasing and don't have the ball with them. With that said, I think if Toloi or if it's Bastoni, whichever one's playing, if they get in Bale's face and Ramsey's face early and often, they're going to be a little intimidated, and they might not try some certain things. It may not be our ideal starting back four, but I think it's still capable to keep them quiet for the most part. So I think we can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the team overall in general, I've been like a broken record saying this, but I'm just waiting. I've been waiting for another team to impress me, and I'm still waiting. So far the Azzurri, the chemistry is what shines through the most, especially when you watch all these other groups. And it's something that's been highlighted around this team is the fact that there is no superstar. There is no elite guy. As a group, though, we are just like a well-oiled machine in terms of all facets working. The one thing is we need, and we've all been saying it from start to term, we need a number 9 that's firing. Immobile had some misses still and whatnot. He was able to find one in the last outing and whatnot. Colin there coming in saying hopefully Immobile is on form. I think today, we saw the projected it's going to be Belotti and whatnot, but that's the one thing still, just getting that 9 firing. But I think we have enough coverage even amongst the other guys and whatnot that we could still be okay. But I want to get your guys' thoughts on the other teams, the bigger teams too, like the Belgium, France, Germany. Germany with a big win there yesterday, coming back with a vengeance there on Portugal there. My thoughts go out to my buddy Justin Vitorino there, big Portugal guy, and I couldn't even talk to him yesterday because I just left him alone there on that one. But how do you guys feel about the other nations there, and who do you think eyes are on if things go according to plan? Say the Azzurri get the top of the group, they'll face second spot out of Group C, which could potentially be Ukraine or Austria. Outside of that, in the following round, it could potentially line up to be Belgium. So let's kick it off with Belgium. How do you guys feel about Belgium?
So I watched both of their games. The first game against Russia, I wasn't too impressed. But the difference is when De Bruyne's on, they're a very good team. Again, like France, like Portugal, like Germany, they're beatable at the back. I think that seems to be most teams' weakness is at the back. But when De Bruyne and Lukaku are firing, they're a tricky team to stop, and they'll be able to score goals. It's just if they're going to be able to stop them, that's going to be their struggle, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've got the firepower, but I wouldn't be worried about not being able to put any past them, right?
Exactly.
Antonio, Belgium, they impressed you?
No. I think they've got too many good players. I'm not being biased towards Azzurri, but I still haven't seen a team that's blown me away as much as Italy has. Mm-hmm. There's teams out there with more talent than Italy, but there's no surprise. France and Belgium have got so many talented players. But I agree with Anthony. Say the World Cup, the Euros, the tournaments, and you will always get your tournament size. Italy, Germany, France, they're the teams that you need to beat. As I say, the more the tournament goes on, the more these teams come into themselves as well. The one team that did surprise me, well, not surprise me, but what did impress me is Germany. And I'll go back to obviously the pundits and the hype around the sides. Germany, they're not considered the favourite. That they will be loving that. Every year they're considered probably the number one favourite. Mm-hmm. Germany are one of the teams that if you're going to win this competition, somewhere along the lines you'll need to beat that team. That's just the way I see it, as I say. But back to Belgium, they don't impress me at all. Very good side, but nothing to fear.
Yeah, and I mean, Carlos coming in saying that they'll have Hazard. De Bruyne is back.
Hazard hasn't been the same in years.
So they're not to be discounted. I don't think it's discounting them, but again, Antonio brings up a great point. It's just like almost their history, right? Like they just, honestly, you could throw the Dutch in there too. Mm-hmm. No matter how strong the side is or whatnot, they just don't get it done in the crunch time, right? So if it lines up that way and the Azzurri can get there to that round and they line up across from Belgium, I feel fine, to be honest. And honestly, we talk across all the other teams. I don't think there's a team out there that Italy can't beat. You know, I think in terms, regardless of what happened yesterday, France scares me only because, you know, Raf, our team member, put it perfectly on Twitter. Their strengths are probably the only weaknesses I can pick out of the Italian squad, which would be that ability to quickly counterattack.
Yeah.
You know, so if they did sacrifice possession to the Azzurri and started putting guys forward, man, there's not a guy in this tournament that could keep up with Mbappe's pace on a quick counter. Like you watch that one play against the Germans where they pumped it up like 30 yards behind Hummels and friggin' Mbappe just destroyed them.
Yeah.
Their strengths would highlight some of our weaknesses, but I'm less fearful of them now than I was, say, at the beginning of the tournament, watching them play, because it's a little disjointed. What do you guys think so far on Team France?
Yeah, I don't know. They just looked so, I guess, unorganized, or no chemistry when I was watching them yesterday, like you guys mentioned. They're still good, and like coming, you know, Griezmann, Benzema, Mbappe, Pogba, like that's a little worrisome, right? But they're beatable at the back. I'd like to see Insigne go up against Pavard, because he got torched by Hungary. So imagine what Insigne could do to him, you know, and even Digne against Berardi. Like there would be some good matchups where you could expose them. But it's definitely coming down on the counter. No one's going to catch Mbappe, you know, unless you have someone man mark him, which is a possibility. It'll be definitely a good match. That would be something. Very, very.
Lucas saying, Mbappe clocked as quickest player in tournament so far.
No surprise.
Also saying that Spinazzola can match him for pace, but you got to think, like, number one, I don't think he can, but number two, Spinazzola would be the one advancing for us. So he's not even going to be in a position, should we lose possession, to be anywhere near catching him, right? And I don't think Spinazzola would be the player we want to hold back from.
Probably be Di Lorenzo, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably have to slot Di Lorenzo in there whenever, because Florenzi would just get roasted too.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to hold back one of those, so yeah, I wouldn't look that way. Anthony thinking that Antonio looking so fresh this morning, he could be the one that matches Mbappe's pace there. Yeah, the lighting in that new house, man, it's just fantastic.
Do you know what it is? It's been a lovely Father's Day. I was treated to a lovely breakfast in bed by my wife and my little girl, so that's probably why I'm looking fresh. But
There you go.
thank you very much, Anthony. I'll take it all day.
There you go.
Can I just add something just on both, just touch on what both you guys said there?
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, being one of the older guys on the team, well, unfortunately, I remember probably one of the best years of my life in 2006. Italy didn't have the best team in the tournament. France were the best team in the tournament, along with Brazil, you would say. But when you get to the latter stages, last 16, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and so on, you need that bit of luck. These tournaments are 9 times out of 10 they're determined by details. As I say, so that's why I don't tend to look at if we play or who we're going to play in a quarterfinal. I just look at the game. In the first 5 minutes, you could get a red card or a penalty. It's just having that bit of luck. In 2006 against Australia, we were nearly getting into penalties and we didn't look confident, and then Totti stuck that one away, and obviously we gained momentum and we won the tournament. I say, so you could probably say Totti's penalty against Australia gave us that momentum to then believe that we could really do it, as I say. So France are just devastating. They're phenomenal to watch, and they've got so much great players, and Mbappe's going to be probably up there with Ronaldo and Messi going forward, but they don't scare me, and because I'm confident that obviously Italy can perform against them and give them problems as well, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I've been saying. Italy can go with any nation in this tournament, in my opinion, for sure. Now, in terms of today's match, and even moving forward, should Chiellini? I mean, it's rumored that Chiellini is recovering well and whatnot. Bastoni getting some minutes today, if the projected is accurate. Bonucci and Bastoni back there. Some Azzurri fans that I've been talking to will not still have some question marks at the back, and just thinking that could haunt us against the top sides. How do you guys feel with the back line in general? And say Chiellini, is down, Bastoni your next man up, or Acerbi? Or do you think it's opponent related? What do you guys think there? Does your confidence level drop if it's Bonucci and Bastoni moving forward? Let's put it that way.
Just based on experience, yes.
It depends on the opponents as well.
Yeah.
So I don't trust the
Acerbi above Bastoni.
Experience. It's a bit more experience. The thing that I think we lack in our centre back positions is pace.
Yeah.
I was a bit concerned with Mbolo in the last game against Switzerland. If he got behind, he could cause serious problems. I'll use the same obvious example. Mbappe. If Mbappe plays in a central position against Italy and he gets behind, you're not catching him. No chance. I say, so Bastoni's got that turn of pace. He's quick, over 20, 30 yards to maybe recover.
Yeah.
As I say, but if we do lack anything at the centre half position, it's a bit of pace.
Yeah, I agree. Dan, your confidence level changes a bit, you say?
I think so. Just based on his veteran leadership, his experience, like we saw with Juve. Juve looked completely different although Chiellini had his ups and downs. They looked completely different without him starting. And I think, Acerbi is not the same, quality-wise, even pace-wise. I would probably still take Chiellini over Acerbi. I don't know. Acerbi doesn't do it for me. He never really has. He looks good at Lazio because of the way they play and that, kind of, or how they played, I should say. Now they're going to be a little different, but I would probably take Bastoni over Acerbi, just based on just based on pace. If you're going up against some high, some quick teams, but hopefully Chiellini's able to go. I saw one of these comments. Of course, it's Luca Acerbi over Bastoni. Okay, well, I don't know. We'll see.
Of course, it's Luca. The Luca and Dan battle wages on there. I love it. I absolutely love it. Anthony coming in here with the Azzurri have faced many countries with pace. It's never hurt us before, and it won't hurt us this tournament. Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to shutting everything down before that, right? Before it gets to that point. The Azzurri do a great job of closing things down quickly. And just not allowing teams to get into that rhythm, get into their game, and forcing them to play ours. But it always changes in those big matches. Tactics, all that sometimes can go out the door. And then all of a sudden you're in these man-to-man battles, and if Mbappe can get it going, be tough, and things would change for us too if we focus on shutting down that pace, because then all of a sudden we got to think about who we use in supporting the offense and how our offense works. So it's not necessarily that I'm concerned about shutting down the pace, because I think we can, but usually that entails holding one extra body at least back, if not more, right? So then it changes things a bit. But it's interesting. So Germany, we talked about Belgium, we talked about France. Any other teams you guys want to talk about? And the interesting thing is too, the knockout games won't start till Saturday for the Azzurri. So almost a week away. Say we win today and whatnot. Is that you see that as a benefit, or would you rather them play a little bit sooner to keep things going? What do you guys think in terms of that? What's your personal preference? Would you rather them play a little bit sooner, or you think the break's even better and then we get Chiellini fully go?
No, win and keep winning, as I say, because it's a tournament. You want to set the bar high, as I say, and make the opponents respect. Italy didn't have respect in this tournament. As I say, nobody considered them as a favourite. Nobody was mentioning them, as I say. So now everybody's starting to fear them. And being over here in the UK, having to listen to those English pundits, they're so fearful, as I say, because they never considered Italy as a major threat. So I want us to see us keep winning, because winning helps the mentality, it helps with everything. But remember, this is a young side as well, with a lot of these players have never played at this level. They say so. Winning, them getting that sensation of winning at this level, I mean, it creates more going forward, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Dan, what do you got to add?
Yeah, I think a day or two earlier would have been probably best for Italy. But it is what it is. Like you said, maybe Chiellini comes back fit. If he's not 100%, I wouldn't rush him back for that game anyway. But I think Thursday or Friday probably would have been best. It still gives you 3-4 days off, which should be enough. But it is what it is.
Yeah. So how things shape up for that Saturday should Azzurri get the top. So the Azzurri get the top. Ukraine and Austria have to face each other. And then that'll determine the second spot in Group C. Okay. If Wales manages to overtake the Azzurri, puts Italy in second spot in Group A, they would face second spot in Group B, which would become, it looks like it's going to be between Russia and Finland. So Finland ends up playing Belgium in the next match, and that's going to be tough for them. Russia will face Denmark, who's on 0 points. So you would then expect the Azzurri to play Russia, most likely. So either way, I think it goes through, and I still honestly, out of all those scenarios, I'm fine with it. Because honestly, you'll get that one round in the first knockout where you're really confident, feel good about any of those four potential opponents. And then after that, that's where the fun begins. That's where you start lining up against the so-called big dogs, whatnot. But let's say Italy gets a job, because I think they're going to get the job done today. It's Father's Day. They're not going to piss us dads off. Okay, the Azzurri are going to get it done. Ukraine or Austria? Preference? Any ties to Ukraine or Austria?
Austria, I would prefer Austria.
I think Austria's not. I think Ukraine's a little stronger than Austria.
Ukraine is a little stronger than Austria. You'd like to see Austria probably get in there. And in my predictor bracket that I filled out at the beginning of the tournament, that I kept rather secretive, because I just wanted to see how things played out. It did have the Azzurri lining up against Austria. How far did I take the Azzurri? We got any guesses there?
Final.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Fucking rights. Winning it. Winning the fucking thing. We're taking it. Let's start with some predictions, boys. Oh, Luca's got a question, though. We got to get to Luca. We got to accommodate, these guys with sleeping in and whatnot and getting into like halfway through the shows and whatnot. So,
this is what it used to be like before I was a father. I was the same guy as Luca, waking up at 12 o'clock.
What do you boys think of VAR so far this tourney? So, Dan, what do you think of VAR so far?
There was a couple soft ones, I thought, especially that one against who was it, Czech and Croatia. It was Lovren, I think. Like he did clip him in the face with his elbow, but it was the way he jumped. How is he supposed to jump with like this? I don't know. That one I didn't really agree with. There was probably a few others that didn't even against Turkey. I think they missed one of the three. There.
Yeah.
But again, it's to be expected at this point. We've seen it for years now, especially in Serie A. So
yeah,
I don't know. You kind of just got to go out and do your thing.
Yeah. Antonio, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree 100% with Dan. I think it's still, after all this time, because it seems as if it's been in the game forever now, but it's still trial and error with it. I think the rules seem to change and there's no consistency with it. Obviously, the prime example was against Turkey. I mean, for me, that's handball all day long. But the consistency in the handball rule is just it's becoming ridiculous, to be quite honest with you. But so far so good. Hopefully it continues.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there's been a couple ones where you're like, but overall, it's been okay. And Anthony says the same thing. I think the refereeing has been very good. I think it's been, from what I've seen, let's put it this way, I haven't felt like any of them have been trying to steal the show, and that's the big thing. There's been some matches where I don't honestly even notice who's reffing, and that's all I can really ask for.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of, we got some more questions here and whatnot. We're gonna have a little fun with the Azzurri and whatnot, and just talk about some things historically. If you could go all time, and one thing we should add in terms of refereeing and whatnot, all this after having to endure 2002, I don't think anything will ever match that horror show. So yeah, I think if you lived through that time with the Azzurri and that match, I still see the pictures popping up. I saw some more pop up the other day. I thought Delivio was going to kill him right
Mr.
there on the
Moreno.
pitch. And after that, referees, no issues. Historically, Azzurri. Let's say you could pick your all-time Azzurri 11, whatnot. Let's have some fun here, and everybody joining us live. Let's go your all-time Azzurri 11. Yeah, should we make it easier and say since you've been watching? Because otherwise it gets a little crazy. But historically, since you guys have been following the Azzurri, your all-time 11.
Anto, I'll let you go first. Yeah.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you.
I got to think about this.
Well, obviously, I dare say when I get to Alberto's, Alberto and I will be quite similar. Obviously, Gigi in goals, right back, Zambrotta. In the middle, Baresi, Cannavaro, Maldini to complete that back four. Right mid, Donadoni. Centre mid, De Rossi and Pirlo. There's three across the middle, and then leaving Roberto Baggio, Alessandro Del Piero, and this is where I get stuck now. We've never really had that number 9. So Baggio, Del Piero, and Bobo Vieri.
Oh, nice. That's pretty stellar. That's pretty stellar.
That you put me on the spot. Now, when I come off air and think about it in more detail, I'll probably come up with a better 11.
Yeah. Donadoni getting in there, eh? Yeah.
Oh, I can remember him 94 World Cup. He was, apart from Baggio, obviously stealing the show, Donadoni was fantastic in that competition.
Donadoni was unreal,
Yeah, I remember
that tournament. Yeah.
Shit.
Dan.
Okay, so my back line's very similar. You said Maldini, Cannavaro, Baresi, Zambrotta. With Buffon, obviously. I went De Rossi, Pirlo. Donadoni's a good shout, but I don't know. I just love Gattuso the way he played. So that's a tough one. Yeah. So that would probably be my three, even though De Rossi and Gattuso would be similar. But
you put two killers in there, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess Pirlo a little in front, and let Pirlo work his magic.
Everybody's ankles on the other team are already hurting just looking at De Rossi and Gattuso.
Yeah, this is where it gets tough. Yeah, I'd go Baggio, Del Piero, and then maybe either Luca Toni or Vieri, like in front of them. So like a 4-3-2-1 kind of like a Christmas tree kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's what I would go with.
Nice. Yeah, I'm pretty similar to Antonio, really. I mean, and it's looking some of these guys, even Colin throwing out Vialli as a possible guy up top.
He just never done it with the national side. Mancini, Vialli, Beppe Signori was fantastic as well, worth a mention.
Yeah.
So
Anthony's coming in here. Let's check out Anthony's. Buffon, Maldini, Baresi, Cannavaro, Baggio, Donadoni, Pirlo, Inzaghi, Vieri, Schilacci.
Wow.
Oh, wow. And Totti not getting in on anybody.
I thought about him too.
Yeah.
So it's interesting there. I love seeing that. And let's take it a step further. Let's break outside of the Azzurri box. Let's have some fun here. If you were to start a club from scratch, okay, and you could pick any current player in the world to like be the first name on your team that you're starting, who do you pick as your franchise guy?
You go first this time, Dan.
Fuck. That's a tough one.
Do you start at the back? Do you start at the top?
Because if I start at the back, I'm probably going De Ligt just because he's young and he's already shown himself. But if I'm going up top, I'm probably going.
Let's have fun with this. Let's have fun with this.
Each row.
One franchise guy in the world at the back. So De Ligt.
Yeah.
One franchise guy you could start in the middle.
I'd probably go Barella.
Okay. Fuck, you're just sticking with the Azzurri today. I love it. Up top.
Yeah. I go Mbappe up top.
There you go. Go. Okay, Antonio, franchise guy at the back.
See, that's the thing, franchise thing. I still think Virgil van Dijk is better known than De Ligt, but I would agree with Dan right across the board. I think Barella's going to have a massive future. I would love to see him in a Juventus jersey one day.
Okay, middle of the park. You're going Barella?
Yeah, De Ligt, Barella.
And up top, you're going Mbappe?
Mbappe, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Look at Matthias agreeing with you guys 100%.
Nice.
De Ligt, Barella, Mbappe. Unbelievable, guys. No Haaland up top, just straight up Mbappe. No Haaland. Haaland could be possibly in there, but Mbappe, it's unbelievable. I still remember on one of my podcasts, Ivan Groh, and if Ivan Groh ends up checking this out later, he's actually coming out here and saying that he thinks Mbappe is overrated. And I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, that's a bold statement to say the least. I did not agree with that one.
Do you know, sorry, my dad actually brought up an interesting point because I've had the pleasure of his company all through these Euros, my God. He actually said Mbappe would be a much better player and he would probably be at a higher level if he wasn't playing with PSG. And I know where he's going with it.
I agree.
I think if he was playing with something like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juve, your more historical teams, I think he would have already won a hell of a lot more. I think he's wasted at PSG. I really do.
Huh. Just based on their competition alone.
He's
exactly. Not playing top competition all the time. I agree. Yep.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a fair shout for sure. Fair take, 100%. Okay, same question, but now let's open it up historically.
Oof.
So one franchise guy historically at the back. Ultimate teams. We're having fun today. We're going ultimate. One franchise guy out of the back.
Oh, easy for me. Easy.
Who?
If it's based on what I've seen in my lifetime, Paolo Maldini.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
In the
Maldini.
middle, Zinedine Zidane in the middle. And up front, the one and only Ronaldo, not the Portuguese one.
There you go.
Yeah,
Dan.
that's a good shout. I think mine's very similar, but I'd probably take Pirlo over Zidane just because I just love Pirlo. That's it. It's just biased.
Fair enough.
But yeah, the other two, I think you're spot on.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's hard to knock Maldini out of there at the back. Middle. I gotta go Zidane. I have to, man. Watching the guy was something else. I can't go anywhere else there. Up top.
Baggio.
God, that's tough. What?
Baggio. No.
I know. I think for me it would be between Maradona and Baggio for going up top for sure. In the middle though, yeah, I think I'd have to give the edge to Zidane. I love the fact that some of the other guys that I could throw in there in the middle were members of Juve there, so it'd be it's nice the guys that we have. David's getting a shout out there. There you go, David.
Sunglasses.
Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
Interesting shouts. R9 up top. I mean, yeah, come on.
Monster.
It's tough to say. If you throw Platini as a midfielder, shit.
Yeah.
That guy, the goal record, and it's interesting enough, he's held it for so long. Cristiano Ronaldo just beat it. But Platini played one tourney. Or was it two tourneys?
No, I'm not sure.
I think he had 9 goals in 5 games, man. One tourney.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Platini held that 9-goal record at Euros in that. So it's pretty incredible, pretty remarkable stuff. But yeah, had a lot of fun with the Ultimate Team. Thanks everybody throwing theirs out there. I think we got to give some shout outs to Jaap Stam as one of the backs there. He could potentially make somebody's line.
Jeez.
Jaap Stam. Remember that PK he took? Was it against the Azzurri?
Oh.
He had one he just absolutely skied. I remember when the Azzurri beat Holland. Was that 2000? I think it was 2000 in that tourney, and Holland was pegged to beat the Azzurri that year. That was awesome. Awesome. I hated Jaap Stam.
You know, I can remember watching, we went down to Old Trafford. My friend's a massive Manchester United fan, and we went down to watch, I can't remember who it was playing against, it was many years ago, and Jaap Stam was warming up just at the start of the game, and you could hear him running on the pitch. He sounded like a horse galloping. He's to see the guy, if you've seen the guy live, he's an absolute monster. Machine of a guy, as I say, but great defender, but absolute arsehole of a guy.
Yeah, he was, man. He's just that guy on the other team that you knew if you had him on your team, you'd love him, but you just hated when your team played against him because he's just a prick, just an absolute prick. Zabina, shock. Nobody said Zabina. Okay, that's enough of that. So we've had all our fun. Comes down to the match. Azzurri, Wales. It's prediction time. Everybody joining us live, get your predictions in now. What is going to happen? And actually, Marzita saying like Ramos in terms of Stam. Yeah, Ramos is like to the highest level because he's better just overall. In all facets. Ramos. Oh man, so he's done with Madrid.
Yeah.
Oh,
would you?
I would.
Yeah, me too.
I would.
He is my guilty pleasure, Sergio Ramos.
You know what? I've always been vocal about my dislike of Ramos, but
He's a
it's
winner.
only because I'd fucking want him at
Yeah.
Juve and just to be that guy. He takes all the attention. He's an
Yeah.
absolute prick, and he gets the job done, man. And
He's a winner.
He's the guy you want on your team. You don't want to play against, like you said, you don't want to play against him, but you want him on your team.
I mean, we were having fun back there with making teams up and all these names. Can you only imagine? We can dream it. It could be reality. De Ligt and Sergio Ramos. I mean, who the hell would want to play against those two? You know?
Yeah. But we move on. We move on to our predictions. We've got some rolling in already. Matias Fernandez coming in 4-0. Berardi.
Oh, gee,
Ramsey own goal. And Immobile ×2. Marzita coming in with Belotti and Emerson with the goals on a 2-0 victory. 3-0. Another 3-0 for the Azzurri from Ryan Saliba there. And Colin coming in here saying, not in a blue fit would I take Ramos. There you go. But let's get to the predictions. Which one of you wants to kick us off? And I'm just going to state this here for everybody joining us live. Eric from our team actually won the prediction contest last show, which was naming the goal scorer. He named Locatelli. I said name the first goal scorer of the match, and he won it. But because he already has the tees, he chose to put it up for grabs again. So we have one of these striped hearts Azzurri tees available.
Such a lovely guy, isn't he?
And we're going to say on top of your predictions, name the first goal scorer, and whoever names the first goal scorer will win one of these tees. But from you guys joining me, your predictions.
There you go, Dan.
I'm going to say 2-0 as well. I'm going to go with Belotti, the first goal scorer.
All right. Antonio.
Oh, okay. I'm going to start sounding like somebody we know very well, and I won't mention any names, but I think it's going to be 2-1. I think we're going to concede that goal. Just because they've got that extra bit of quality with Bale and Ramsey. 2-1, Chiesa, first goal scorer.
Oh, there you go. And Anthony, bang on there with you. Chiesa scoring first. I'm going 3-1. 3-1. First goal, Belotti. Belotti gets the first.
It'd be good to see him score, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Good to see him score. Come in, get some off minutes, keep banging goals, join Juve in the Mercado, and then we just rip across next season. Bring the Scudetto back after celebrating the Azzurri being European champions. Fuck the world. Azzurri, Juve, let's go. What were you saying, Antonio? Sorry, I just
it's okay. I thought you said Belotti for Juventus. I thought it bad interference.
Oh, yeah.
Are you drinking already? Is it far too early for you to be drinking?
5 a.m. here, but it's 5 p.m. somewhere.
I'd take him. I'd take him, no doubt.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He needs to get the hell out of there. He's on the wrong side of the city.
Yep.
Yeah.
No. He doesn't have to move. He can just come over. It's simple, easy move for him. It makes sense.
Cross the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's natural. No, that's great. We had a lot of fun. Thanks everybody who joined live. Thanks everybody for the support. The channel hit 1K. Massive thank you to you guys. Dan, Antonio, Eric, Francisco, Raf, Lewis, Luca, regardless if he barely contributes. No, I'm just kidding. You guys, it's been a lot of fun. Love everything we're doing. I got some awesome new stuff breaking through this week on the channel, circulating around Juve. And it's just been awesome. Absolute pleasure with the guys I brought in for the team. Thanks everybody for the continued support. And we move. Final match of the group stage. Hoping for that Azzurri win. Back with a podcast tomorrow morning, recapping it, and of course talking about some more news around Juve and when we will finalize this fucking Locatelli deal. It's got to happen. But let's see what happens. Everybody, enjoy the match. Again, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, and we'll talk soon. Forza Azzurri. Ciao.